Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to my respected lecturer, Dr. Yahya and all my fellow friends. My name is Wano Bazli Meti Badru Hisham. Now, I'm going to present about game-based learning module. This is my teaching and learning module. The topic that I have choose is physics topic 1, which is about force and motion, inertia. This module is prepared by me. This is the outline of the module content. The first part is introduction, second part is lesson plan, and then activities 1, which is learning activities, activities 2, which is game-based learning, activities 3, which is assessment, and finally activities 4, which is assignment. For the introduction, this module has been provided for all teachers as their reference and guideline to teach students Form 4 about physics, which is about force and motion 1, inertia. The module focuses on the process of teaching and learning through game-based learning. This can make the learning process in the classroom more interesting and effective. The subject that has been chosen is Physics Form 4 from the topic of force and motion, which is inertia. The time taken for this learning process is 1 hour and the class is for science. So, this is my lesson plan. There are date, time, students, topic, subtopic. The cross-curricular elements for this module is science and technology and also creativity and innovation. The learning objective of this module is to understand the concept of inertia. The learning outcomes of this module is explain what is inertia, relate inertia with mass, and finally give examples of situations involving inertia. My first activity is site inductions, which is learning activities. Firstly, students need to enter the Google Meet. Teacher will share a screen about a video in YouTube about inertia, and after watching the video, teacher will share to the screen the wheel of random name picker. One student will be picked up randomly and they need to answer the question about inertia from the teacher. About 2 to 3 students will be picked up in these activities. After that, teacher will start presenting about inertia from the SlideShare website. Teacher will give explanation about what is inertia, relate inertia with mass, and finally relates the topic which is inertia in the real life situation. My first activity is game-based online learning and forum discussion. Students are divided into 5 groups and each group are given 10 minutes to discuss and build a mind map by using Toggle. After finish doing the mind map, they need to present the mind map in front of the class by share to the screen of their mind map. There will be a discussion and forum session. After the commenting session, they need to add what is information that is lacked from the mind map. After that, they will enter a game in the nearpod. The teacher will present the nearpod code and the students need to enter and play the game. My activity 2 is assessment. This activity is about answering a quiz from quizzes. Students need to enter a quiz and then they need to answer all the questions given. After the quiz ends, there will be a closure part which is assignment. Students need to finish all the tasks by adding sticky note on the canvas. There are 6 tasks to be finished by students and they need to finish it within 2 days. The teaching tools that has been used is Form 4 textbook, laptop, internet connection, and telephone. The online learning resource is YouTube and also SlideShare. For references, I have used Form 4 textbook, information from internet sources, journal, books, and finally past year questions. The platform that has been used is online communication tools, which is Google Meet, learning material, which is YouTube and SlideShare, and finally for online quiz, game-based learning, and assessment tool, I use Quizzes, Linoid, Pickerwheel.com, Nearpod, and finally Toggle. For induction set, there will be 10 minutes for this activity. Firstly, teacher needs to have a good internet connection. Teacher also need to ensure that all students successfully enter the Google Meet session. Teacher also need to remind the students to open their camera during the class. And finally, teacher needs to make sure all students to mute their microphone to avoid distraction during class. My step 1 is deliver content of the lesson. The time taken will be 10 minutes. Firstly, students will watch a video from YouTube. This is because multimedia component can increase learning effective. The picture shown is the picture from YouTube that students need to watch. After that, 2 or 3 students will be picked up randomly by the wheel of random name picker. So the picture shown is all the name of the 4 science students. The purposes of this activity is to give general review about the topic they are going to learn, to know the basic knowledge of students about the topic, and finally to attract students and make them concentrate to the lesson. After that, teacher will start presenting the slide about inertia. Teacher gives explanation about what is inertia from the slide, and teacher also will relate the mass with inertia. And finally, teacher will give situation based on inertia. This is the picture of the slide share. The purpose of this activity is to give students the definition of inertia and Newton's first law, to give information about how mass relate with inertia, and finally to make students clear about situations that involve inertia. My step 2 is forum discussion and game-based learning, which is 35 minutes. Firstly, students are divided into 5 groups and they need to build a mind map by using Toggle. After finish the mind map, they need to present their mind map to the class by sharing their screen. After that, the students will enter a game in the Nearpod. So this is the game in the Nearpod. There are several questions about inertia. The first picture is all the students that involved in this game. These games also will have 3 winners, which is 1, 2, and 3, and they are overall board to show what is their points. The purposes of this activity is to improve healthy competitive among students, allow students to delve into the topic they are studying, and finally encourage involvement in learning and teaching activities. For my step 3, which is assessment, the time taken will be 10 minutes. In this assessment, the students will answer questions in quizzes. So the picture shown is the quizzes question. There will be several questions. There are choose the right answer question and also true or false question. So from the student's result, teacher needs to make an assessment of student achievement through the results provided in the application. Teacher also needs to take follow-up action to correct the learning weaknesses identified to help students. The picture given is how quizzes can help teacher to know what is the weaknesses of the students and find the solution to increase the weakness of the students. The purpose of this activity is this assessment helps teacher to evaluate the effectiveness of learning activities through the marks obtained by students. The information on students' scores also helps teachers to identify weak students and find good solutions to help them. And finally, this activity also helps students to refresh what they have learned. Finally, my final activities is assignment. This will take about 2 minutes. The students need to finish all the tasks by adding sticky note on the canvas. There are 6 tasks to be finished by the students and they need to finish it within 2 days. So the picture shown is how the canvas. On the right side, there are sticky notes that the students need to type the answers and stick that on the canvas. The purpose of this activity is to give opportunities for students to improve their understanding about inertia and finally to make students find more information about inertia.